Hello! Oh, I'm so glad you're back, or I'm so glad to be back, rather. I'm sorry that I look so miserable and terrible. I'm sorry that my hair is so greasy and my face so unshaven and my pyjama top so utterly filthy. I promise you I'll be in better state the next time we're here. Now, again, more out of boredom than anything else, I thought that I would clean the lens of the camera and then switch on the camera, because apart from the fact that I'm getting rather hungry, I thought it's about time that we tried another episode of Cooking with Corona. Although if you've been following me, you'll know that we're not actually cooking with Corona, we're cooking whilst Corona is going on. Unless, of course, you're watching from Wuhan in China or something like that. Sorry for the joke, had to be said, it was so deserved, and well, you know it. Now, today we are going to be making lasagna. Garfield the cat's favourite dish. But, I have to admit, I'm not making it under the circumstances I'd usually make it. Usually I'd get my mince from the butcher's. But if you've got frozen mince, to defrost it, wrap it up in a freezer bag and put it in some cold, not hot, water. And you see, well, I've not got a freezer bag, but I put it in a sort of white plastic bag there, and it's just soaking. If you want to make your own sauce, half an onion, whole onion maybe, lovely bit of tomatoes, parsley, peppers, tomato paste, basil if you like, maybe garlic if you prefer, and you pulp that all together, or you can blend it. I couldn't do that if I wanted to, though, because my blender stopped working, so we'll have to do everything. I'll have to use a bottle or a jar. Remember once my grandparents getting into a frightful argument over that. More on that in a moment. This is the sort of paste you'll be needing if you want to make the sauce. Now, let's get down to business. Also see down here how I've got the lasagna, which I didn't make myself, apologies in advance. I've got them sort of damp here, because these are the ones I'm going to put on top. You really don't need to soak the other sheets of lasagna, the stuff at the bottom and the top in the middle, because it becomes dampened because of the gravy. I'm going to put bacon in mine. By the way, if you are a vegetarian, you'll find that corn mince is readily available. There's also such a thing as vegetarian bacon, which I think is ridiculous, because bacon, by definition, it's a slice of grilled or fried pig, but apparently I suppose it's for recovering carnivores, so to speak. They're trying to wean themselves off. But it grills and cooks and overcooks much faster than real bacon. The first thing we're going to do is fry onion. Now, I am going to use this red onion, but I've just noticed that I've got the other half of the white onion that I didn't use in the last recipe I tried. I've also got some gravy there, and we'll put that in too. So, because that white onion is already cooked, just come and look. See? I'm going to put that in towards the end, because I don't want it to cook at the same rate as this. So I'm going to peel and chop this red onion, and well, I don't think you really need to watch me peel an onion, but in case you really want to, come and see. You can see how I've just taken this bit off first, because that's really the area that makes you cry. You don't have a strong resistance to onions. So I am going, you can see I'm just busy, well, you can't see that well, but I'm busy cutting the onion here. Doesn't really matter how. I like it to be nice, and the bits to be nice and small, like so. You know, the interesting thing about onions is that not everybody likes them, but they do have a nice, they add an extra kick to something. Same with garlic, actually. By the way, if you don't want garlic, you can just, or onions. I mean, it's a bit of a strange lasagna if you don't like garlic or onions. It certainly bears little resemblance to how the Italians would make it, but to be honest, you can do it. If you want it to be just herby, put in herbs. Those will be amongst the ingredients that I shall be using. I went to Italy once, you know. I tried it. I don't know whether I tried real lasagna from there, but I definitely did. I tried real pizza for the first time, real Italian pizza. Very different from the Americanized one that we're all familiar with. Although I do think that they've sort of begun to adapt with each other. And there's actually an Italian restaurant near where I live where I can taste it once again. But it is still rather nice. Been to Florence, and by the way, when I went to Florence that time, I saw well, not the statue of David, but a duplicate of the statue of David. If you want to see the real thing, you have to go to the museum. And the interesting about the statue is that it was supposed to symbolise. Well, it's unusual in the sense that there is no Goliath's head is nowhere. He's not holding it aloft the way that Perseus would hold Medusa's head. It's not at his feet the way it is in Donatello's one, for example. But there are also no flowing locks or feminine poises in it. It's unambiguously male. But the interesting thing about it is that were you to have a person built to those proportions, he would have crossed eyes, an overlong neck, one leg longer than the other, and a deformed hip and spine. But because he's standing up on a plinth, and you're looking up at him, he looks correct even though he's not, if that makes any sense. But it was supposed to symbolise the fall of the corrupt Medicis, the nobility, the corrupt nobility, who were the Philistines of their day. And it was interesting how, every Florentine of however low in rank, however much of a peasant, would have understood that symbolism. But the Jean Gastone and the others, the Medicis, came storming back with a vengeance after a while and managed to get back in. And they knew exactly what that statue symbolised, but rather than simply disappear into obscurity, rather than destroy that artistic piece, as they indeed could have done, they got another artist to make another statue of Hercules, so that one couldn't look at one without looking at the other. Too many ones in that sentence. Now, come and look and see how I've cut my onions. If you want to cut them differently, then please do. All that matters is they're cut, and I haven't cried, because, as I just mentioned, I got rid of the stalk. So, I'm going to fry these onions, and I'm going to put these mushrooms in. These are oyster mushrooms. And I'm not sure why it's called an oyster. It looks more like a coral, if you look. But I tried a teensy bit of it with my steak the other day, and I liked it, so I shall break up that mushroom. Most of the recipes recommend just one clove of garlic. I'm going to have two. I'm going to chop that as I did chop the onion. So here's the garlic, nicely chopped. So the bacon sliced, and so has an extra clove of garlic because it came loose. Getting in touch with my French side, even though I don't have one, or didn't think I had one. So, lots of onion, lots of garlic, bit of bacon. This is 2.5 rashers I'm using here. I'll bung that in there into the saucepan in case you can't see, which I know you can't. I'll just bring you down so you know what I've done. And next, mincemeat. So, in that goes. I'll leave it there until it starts going brown, and I'll add other things. So I'll keep mixing that around and around. Off screen, I'll put the remnants of the white onion that you saw earlier in with it towards the end of it as it really starts going brown. As I say, I would make it, and I'd love to, but no blender. I suppose I don't have any tomatoes. On a separate occasion, perhaps, I'll show you how to make it. Bay leaves and rocket salad and so on is not supposed to be cooked, of course, but I'm going to do it anyway because I've tried it cooked. So I'll throw that in. Come over so you can see what I'm doing. Well, I'm sure you can imagine there's greenery in here. You know that I'm just putting a great lob of it in there. Just because it's starting to wilt and I don't know what to do with it. Nearly forgot this. Carrot. I like to put carrot in mine. So I'm just going to grate this, or a bit of this carrot. Sounds like Skippy having an asthma attack. You can use chunks of carrot if you prefer. Throw that in. Tomato sauce next, I think. Tomato puree. I'm not teaching you how to make that. You can see how thin it is. But it's like toothpaste, you know? There's always a little bit there you didn't know was there or couldn't have believed was there. Puree's in, as you can see. I'll mix that in. And since the gravy's there, I'm going to put that in as well. That, as I say, is the remnants of a previous recipe. Might put in a bit of water as well, but I think the gravy and the juices of the meat are enough. And I'll also, you saw the white onions earlier, so I'm just going to take that pan and put those in as well. Pepper, although my pepper comes with turmeric, but then why not? Magical ingredient, let's see if it works. Usually I put in some mixed herbs, but I don't seem to have any, so I'm going to put in some sage, like this. Not a lot, just a bit. Last ingredient I can think of is this lovely bit of Worcestershire sauce. If you're using minced meat, then you best use 2 tablespoons of this stuff. If you're using corn, then use double that. Use about 4 tablespoons because it'll boost the flavour considerably. And if you know what you're doing, then you shouldn't need to add any water to it. If you make good thick gravy and combine it with the meat juices that are in there, or the corn juices, I suppose, if you're a vegetarian, then all should be well. Now, I'm going to start ladling this into the this baking tray. There's the white sauce, and I'll put more of it and spread it more evenly on that. That's the point. If it's to your taste to add cheese, then do so at that point. It's not to my taste, so I shan't. But if you must use cheese, Parmesan, I mean that's too heavily scented for me, but mozzarella is good as well. If it's well flavoured, you can put well flavoured cheddar on, but don't put it on in the same quantity that you'd use were you to use Parmesan or mozzarella. I'm going to put that on. Hope you saw that. If you didn't, then tough. I'm going to put that on in there for about 40 minutes. Now for the garlic bread. Now this is not the channel to watch if you want to make the bread yourself, but for the garlic butter, here we are. Decent bit of butter in there. A good dollop. I'm not sure what that is in metric or imperial. You can use garlic cloves if you'd like. I don't recommend one per butter that you make for the quantity, unless you want it really strong. I'm actually going to use this. These are dried flakes, and I'm going to scrape those in. It gives it an extra salty taste, and this is unsalted butter that I'm using. I don't know if that makes a difference to the overall flavour. Here's the sage that I had earlier. Add some mixed herbs if you prefer that. So there's the garlic butter. I'm going to spread it quite liberally on these buns here. These are ciabatta buns, but they work just as good on any other kind of bun. You could even use a sliced loaf if you prefer. I'm going to put in a little more of those herbs. At around the 30-minute mark, put the garlic bread in with the lasagna, unless you want to wait, in which case do it afterwards, and do it for 10-15 minutes. Wrap it in tin foil if you like. Alright, it's 30 minutes, so I'm going to put these garlic breads in now. Does that not look lovely now that it's done? You can see the lovely golden bread. So we'll put one there. And again, put that on a little side dish. And then we'll see what the lasagna is like. There. Get a nice bit of bay for the top. Don't want anybody spying on me. Nice pasta. What about the mince? Oh, lovely. So that, and the garlic bread. Try it yourself if you like. And if you don't like, then feel free not to. If you're French or something, you may want more than one clove, maybe more than one garlic bulb, I've no idea. If you're a vampire, don't use any at all. So, we have all together like this. Oof. Bear with me. But maybe get that thing out there. Yeah, that's nice. Don't think that'll taste too good in lasagna. I mean, put it in by all means if you wish, for extra flavour, but it won't be a nice flavour, it'll be hard to chew. So, devilish hard to chew. Should be switched off. Alright, nice and brown. See the juices coming out of there. Apologies again for vegetarians, apologies to all and sundry for getting steam all over the lens. Oh dear. Let it cook. Just like Frozen. Like Frozen says, let it go. Let it cook. Let it cook. Don't want to film this anymore. That is something that vegetarians can have. Do it with margarine. Make garlic margarine instead of butter. Alright. Nice, isn't it? Lovely. This is going to be really fun to edit later.